Hello everybody, welcome to another deck profile video. Today we're going to be looking at the Cross Hearts deck, which this is the second iteration, the 2.5 iteration. I did used to play the old one. This one's going to play a lot similar to that, but you'll notice that it's a little bit more grown up, right? So it's definitely going to be a little bit different, yet the play style is very similar. So first of all, big change, we are using your Pikmon's Digimon egg from BT19. And this one does by placing one Digimon with the Cross Hearts or Blue Flare trait from your hand or any of your tamers. You draw one. That's really nice. You definitely want to get your cards under your tamers. They will do a lot under your tamers. So the fact that this card gets to draw one while placing a Digimon, a Digimon under one of your tamers is actually really nice, because that's exactly what you want to do with this deck. And so this egg is perfect for this type of gameplay. So you definitely want to run 4 of and nothing else. You definitely want that guy to be the egg for this set. Next, we run 4 of the new Shoutmon, the BT19 Shoutmon, which on play, this Digimon may Digivolve into Omni Shoutmon without paying the cost. So, but you could potentially get this out for 4 and Digivolve into Omni Shoutmon. That's not really what you want to do, however. You want to use one of the options to get this guy to come out for free, and then Digivolve to Omni Shoutmon, which is under one of the tamers. Remember that it has to be under one of your tamers for this to proc. So if you have Omni Shoutmon in your hand and a tamer, you have the egg, for example, you definitely want to get that Omni Shoutmon under, so that you could, if you want to, if you play it later, get this Shoutmon into it. Also, on deletion, you may reveal the top 3 cards from your deck, and you may play a tamer with the Cross Hearts traits among them. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck, and then you can save this card under. So this guy does a lot. You definitely want to have 4 of them. He also has the Rush Inheritable. This Shoutmon is going to be a big cog in the Cross Hearts deck. You definitely want to run 4, get that Rush going immediately. In addition to that, Rush is so important that we also, of course, run 4 of the old BT10 Shoutmon, which also has Rush as an inheritable. But its effects are that it reveals 3 and adds 1 Digimon and 1 Tamer, both with Cross Hearts and their traits, to your hand. In addition to that, it also has save. So it doesn't get to play a tamer, but it does have the save available to it, so which is really nice. And again, that Rush is going to come in handy later. Next, we run 4 of the Sparrowmon. This is the new BT19 one. We don't run the old one. This guy gets to, when attacking, Digivolve into a Raptor Sparrow under your tamers without paying the cost. So again, you got to get that Raptor under one of your tamers, and if you're able to do that, then when you attack, you can Digivolve into it, drawing your card and gaining the other abilities, which we'll look at in just a second, Raptor Sparrow. On deletion, you of course get to save, and the inheritable is that if you attack with a Cross Hearts, you get to do Collision, which can delete some of your opponent's Digimons sometimes. But Raptor Sparrow, 4 of, absolutely do it. As well, Raptor Sparrowmon 4 of, which I just said, from Sparrowmon with Digivolve for free when attacking. When Digivolving, you reveal the top 3 cards from your deck, and you may add 1 Cross Hearts or Blue Flare to your hand, and you trash the rest. Also, on deletion, you may place 1 Digimon card with the Cross Hearts or Blue Flare trait from your hand or trash under any of your tamers. Again, you're able to put some Digimon cards under your tamers, which is nice to have in this situation. You definitely want that to be the case. Inheritable is that on your turn, the Digimon gains, with Cross Hearts, gains Collision. So your big boss monsters are going to be using the Raptor Sparrowmon as one of their sources. That Collision could come in handy if you want to get rid of some Digimon. That's one way to do it. But of course, you're looking to put this card under your tamer so that you can Digivolve into it for free. And it's also a source for your boss monster, which we'll look at in a second. Here's the Omni Shoutmon that you should be Digivolving into for free. This card is also treated as a Shoutmon for Digicross. That's important to note. That also Raptor Sparrowmon does the same thing, but for Sparrowmon, it is treated as Sparrowmon. Of course, on play or when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 for the turn, and then you delete a Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. So you can get rid of 6k Digimon pretty easily with this Omni Shoutmon if you're Digivolving into it, if you're playing it for some reason. And then you may place 1 Digimon with the Cross Hearts or Blue Flare trait from your hand or the trash under any of your tamers. In addition to that, you also have your inheritable. Your turn, this Digimon with the Cross Hearts trait gains Rush. So you have Rush coming from Omni Shoutmon as well. So not only do you have it coming from the regular Shoutmons, you also have Rush coming from your Omni Shoutmons. Of course, we're going to be running 4 of that guy. We run 4 Shooting Starmons. This guy's pretty nice. It's treated as Starmons, and shooting Starmons itself is used as a resource for a boss. But you can see all turns when any of your Cross Hearts traits Digimon is played, until the end of your opponent's turn, give one of their Digimon security check plus -1, and also -3000. You can get that DP reduction going pretty solidly with the shooting Starmons. It's inheritable when attacking. If this Digimon has Cross Hearts traits, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2000. So again, getting more of that DP reduction. And then on deletion, of course, you may place a Cross Hearts from your hand of trash under any of your tamers, keeping that save kind of thing going with it. I also run 4 of the Atlas Ballista. I was running 3. Honestly, you could probably get away with 3, but I just wasn't seeing it enough. I just felt like, for whatever reason, I just needed to draw it more often than I was. And so I bumped it up to 4. It is treated as a Ballistamon for Digicross. On player, when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon can't be returned to the hand or deck by your opponent's effects, and also gets +3000. On deletion, does the same thing. Cross Hearts from your hand or trash under any of your tamers, and inheritable on your opponent's turn. This Digimon, if it has Cross Hearts, it is a blocker. Another of the sources for your big bad monster, which we'll get to. Jaeger, Darulu, I run 3. I've seen it often enough. It's not unlike for you to see it. It is also treated as the Rulumon, of course, and when Digivolving, you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then until the end of their turn, one of the Digimon can't activate when Digivolving effects. Very powerful ability to not be able to trigger when Digivolving effects. I see people making an argument for 4. I would see why that is. When Digivolvings are pretty powerful, and keeping your opponent from doing it would be really nice. So I can see people going up to 4 for this, not a problem. On deletion, same thing for the Cross Hearts. You may place from your hand or trash under any of your tamers. And then the inheritable is that Cross Hearts gains piercing. So you get piercing if this is part of the stack. I do run one of the limited Shoutmon X4. The reason I do it is because it's nice to get a little poke here and there. It does get to material save 2, or at the end of your attack, place all the sources under it. So you may not necessarily lose your resources that way. And then, of course, you get to draw 2. Remember, you need to use Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Darulumon, and Starmons, but these cards count as being those cards. Therefore, I could get this Shoutmon X4 for 1 memory, potentially. It is still limited, so we can only run 1. I think I would only run 1, even if it wasn't, but it's really, really good. I really like it here. Run 2 Zig Greymon. There's no real way to get this guy out on the board without just hard playing it. This is one of the cards that if you see it in your hand, you definitely want to put it under your tamer, right? You want to either, if it's for drawing, for gaining memory, whatever it is, this guy should be going under your tamer. His only point is to go up into the EX6 Shoutmon. So, you know, just put it under there, get it a resource so that you can get closer to your winning condition, which is getting this guy out, your Shoutmon EX6. So we run 4. You need to run the 4. It has Alliance, Reboot, Material Save 4, so if it does die, it saves 4 resources. In addition to that, it has an on-play for each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. All of your opponent's Digimon get -1000. So you often will end up with doing -6k to the board, -5, something like that, to the entire board of your opponent has. Then you may play a Shooting Starmons from under your tamers without paying the cost. So if you do have a Shooting Starmon under a tamer, you can play that as well. And if you remember, its ability is that it also DP reduces security -1s and does other things like that. So it's really nice. Also, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. If you get this guy out for cheap and you attack, you get to delete the lowest DP. Remember that you Digicross -2 for each of these cards: Omni Shoutmon, Zig Greymon, Atlas Ballistamon, Jaeger Darulumon, and Raptor Sparrow, which we have talked about all of them. We only have 3 of the Doru, but we have 4 of the rest except for Zig, which we have 2 of because it just doesn't fit as well into the main core of the game. But end game, it is going to do some work. So Shoutmon EX6, Boss Monster, you get those guys under your tamer, so you can bring this guy out for potentially just 1. It's a really cool card. Next, I run 4 of the old Taiki. He's just a better Taiki, BT10. You get to reveal 4, add 1 Cross Hearts to your hand, and place a Cross Hearts and its traits under this tamer. And then you can play from, if you tap it, you can play cards from under your tamers. That's what you want to have, is like the engine of it, of the deck. So you definitely want to make sure that you have that. But an important card I will point out we run 3 Taiki Kirahan Nene. This is very, very important because it places cards under your tamers and it gains 1 memory and draws 1 when you do that. So you get to position yourself as having your resources under your tamers. You get to draw, you get to gain memory, and then it also can trigger when suspending the use of your Digimon under your tamers for Digi-crossing. Super important card. I wouldn't run less than 3. I would even say that 4 is just fine as well. You could definitely run 4, but we're running 3 here for our purposes. And then I run 1 of this Taiki. Honestly, you could cut it, but sometimes you just need a memory setter. I just rather have more memory. But honestly, I'm not married to this. I think I could probably just cut it if I really needed to. 2 Meteor Rock and Soul. Meteor Rock Soul. Main, activate 1 of the following effects. You may play 1 Cross Hearts Trace Digimon card with 4,000 DP or less from under your tamers without paying the cost. So you can play this guy. So you can pay this guy and then Digivolve into this guy, all for just this card. Right? So you can play Digivolve for free, get up here, get minus 3,000, delete 3,000, and get Rush. Pretty cool ability. A lot that it does. If you can set these cards up nicely, you can get some stuff going with that, right? Shopmon, Raptor, I'm sorry, Sparrowmon also works with that. Shoutmon, Omni Shoutmon, even you know, all these cards that have less than 4,000 DP, they will all come out and play. But alternatively, you can also activate that by unsuspending 1 of your Shoutmon EX6 and 1 of your Shooting Starmon, 1 of your Digimon may attack a player. Kind of like you get to unsuspend and attack again. That's really nice to win the game sometimes. Sometimes you just need that extra punch. Meteor Rock Soul provides that. Last but not least, we run 2 Sepia Memory Boosts. These cards can be triggered by either the color black or yellow, which there's plenty of in this deck, and it picks up 1 black or yellow Digimon from from the 3 that you have revealed. Pretty nice, and then of course you get the 2 main memory later. This just works well with everything you're looking for. There's a lot of yellows, a lot of black in this deck that you can pick up with it to get your pieces that you need for Omni Shaman EX6. So Sepia Memory Boost is the call here. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions or any changes that you make, you guys have been really great about telling me what you would change, and I've been testing it. I promise you, I will try to update my deck list as soon as I can, and I try to write in all of these videos as I do so. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions, and I'll see you next time. Peace.